What is up, wrestling fans? This is Kayfabe Chronicles, and I am your host, JP. Holy crap, what a year 2018 was for wrestling matches. So much good content, so many amazing things that have just lingered in the back of my mind for the entire year. So you know what? For the first time ever, instead of a top 5 list, it was physically impossible for me to just narrow it down to only 5. So, get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because this year, for my top favorite matches of 2018, we are doing a top 10 list. And even more, I'm tacking on 3 honorable mentions because there's just so much amazing content. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because here we are with my favorite matches of 2018, starting with the honorable mentions. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan versus the Undisputed Era at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Like, when I think about tag team wrestling, just how bad it's been over the year. Even though I've been promoting like how good wrestling is, I feel like that the tag team division for Raw and SmackDown really did not deliver to its main capabilities this year. But you can bet your ass that NXT did consistently. And this was probably one of the best matches, tag team wise, that I've seen in a long time. It was at a great pay-per-view as well too. And here's the kicker, it was the opening match of the night as well. So it really set the bar ridiculously high. And you know what? Almost every single match on this event was top 10 caliber, but I think this one really stuck in my mind for how over the top it was. Undisputed Era, everybody knows who they are. They've been dominating the NXT tag team division for a while now. But Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, not a lot of people had seen a lot from them. Like I said, it's 2 guys that have really only recently started to get a lot of TV time. And with the help of WWE NXT UK, they've been getting a lot more eyes on them. And this was definitely one match that really put them into the mainstream, in my opinion. Fluent tags, double team maneuvers, so many false finishes, I couldn't even count. I still get heart palpitations for how good this match was. So sadly, it didn't make the top 10 list because there was just a lot of stuff out there that I deemed a little bit better. But holy crap, if you guys haven't seen this match, please make sure you guys check it out. It was absolutely breathtaking. 2 thumbs way up. And it definitely did put Burch and Lorcan on the map for sure. Candice LeRae versus Kairi Sane versus Nikki Cross to determine the new #1 competitor for the NXT Women's Championship, NXT. I love women's wrestling. There's no lie about it. I love women's wrestling so much. The NXT women's division, I have a soft spot in my heart for. I love absolutely every single female on the roster at the moment right now. And this match took 3 of my absolute favorite people going on right now. Candice LeRae, Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross. Just throwing them in a 3-way to determine who is going to be the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. And it's not even on a pay-per-view. This was just a regular weekly show, and holy crap, it did not disappoint. These girls gave it their all. I've never seen so many things flying back and forth. So many false finishes in this match. It was always 1, 2, the referee was always just millimeters away. These 3 girls worked so well with each other. It was just absolutely breathtaking to see them get the amount of abilities and amount of spots that they were able to cram into this match. If you guys want to see a really good NXT women's match, this is definitely up there for sure. And it was on a regular show. It wasn't even a pay-per-view. So you guys can easily find this match. 2 thumbs way up. It set up a really good feud later on in the year. Absolutely loved it. Kudos to these ladies. Good stuff. Tessa Blanchard versus Britt Baker versus Chelsea Green versus Madison Rayne. All In. So the big talk all year was in regards to All In. It was pretty much like an independent wrestler's wet dream, essentially. A lot of great matches on this card. I loved a good majority of this paper. Yeah, there was some weird stuff going on. But it's funny because a lot of people leave this match out as their favorite. A lot of people's favorite match was Kenny Omega versus Penta, or Marty Scurll versus Okada. Those were both great matches, don't get me wrong. But something about this match really stuck with me. It's the fact that I think that just all 4 women all gave just an amazing performance. Like I said, I'm not really too familiar with Britt Baker. I've seen some of her work before, but this match really solidified her From what I've read, she's really grown in the past 2 years as a performer. And of course, you have Tessa Blanchard, one of the best female performers going in the world today. You have Madison Rayne, long term, just absolutely phenomenal wrestler. And of course, Chelsea Green, Laura Van Ness, recent NXT signee, Zack Ryder's lady, my fellow Canadian. Just all four of them did so well in this match. And that ending sequence where they just kept hitting each other's finishers was just absolutely breathtaking. I was at the edge of my seat this entire match, and the thing I loved the best is that after the match, after it was all said and done, all four of them hugged, shook hands, and it was just a really good way to end an absolute phenomenal performance. Like I said, don't take anything away from the All-In pay-per-view. It's absolutely great, and I just feel it's kind of a crime that a lot of people don't really talk about this match. But in my opinion, this was my favorite match of that event for sure. Great job. Loved every second of it.
Number 10. Ricochet versus Adam Cole for the NXT North American title, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
I love Adam Cole. I love Ricochet. What else can you say about this match? Like, so many high impact moves back and forth. Like, I thought both of the guys died at some point. Like, there was literally moments where I actually assumed that the referee was going to throw up the dreaded X. Like, and you already know what I'm talking about. Like when Ricochet did that flying, did that like vaulting moonsault off the rope, only to get kicked straight in the head. Like, I love the storytelling in this match. Great pacing back and forth. Great feud. Great writing leading up into this. Adam Cole is just so full of himself. He's like, I'll challenge anybody for my North American title. And the Ricochet's, well, how about you challenge me? No, I'll challenge anybody but you, because you haven't earned it. It was just so much fun. It was just the build of, having Ricochet come in and just him being so close to winning the North American title in the ladder match, and then finally getting it at the end of this match. But just great storytelling, great match. If you guys haven't checked it out, like I said, everything on this list definitely check out. But that kick to his head where it knocked his soul out of his body is definitely worth checking this match out for.
Number 9. The feud between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
I know what you guys are thinking. Well, JP, that's not a match. The entire feud I deem as a great match. Like AJ and Joe have known each other for so long that you can't even write this stuff. Like I said, they just know each other back and forth so well that this feud just pretty much wrote itself. And the fact that they wrote in AJ's family to kind of partake in it, when it's done great, it's done great. But I've seen many times where a family feud is brought into a wrestling storyline and it's just god awful, just horrible. And as soon as they started mentioning his kids and his wife, and then they started appearing, like, oh crap, here we go. And I loved every second of it. Joe's constant belittling of AJ Styles every single week, calling him out, the storybook, him going to AJ's house, him calling his wife out, your daddy's not coming home, but you can call me dad. Absolutely great. Just for the sheer writing and the length that this angle went, how it made you feel. Were the matches phenomenal? They were okay. They weren't amazing matches, but just the feels that these matches gave me is the reason why this is on my list. Yes, I know it's not a match, blah, 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 blah. This is my list. Whatever. I enjoyed the crap out of this feud, and definitely makes the list for sure.
Number 8. Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black, NXT War Games 2.
Oh, once again, story. How I love storytelling. The feud was absolutely great. It all started, of course, with Aleister Black getting knocked out, and everyone's wondering, who knocked out Aleister Black? And it all came because Aleister Black got injured legitimately, and they had to find a really witty way to write him out of the storyline. So, of course, they had him get jumped mysteriously, and then it turned out all along was Johnny Gargano, and that, threw everybody for a loop. Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Babyface, the most over-liked person in the entire industry at this moment, having him become a heel just blew my mind. And then the match they put on, just the mind games they kept playing with each other. And it's weird because, a lot of people overshadow like Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream or the actual War Games match from that night to be their favorite match. Wrestling wise, yeah, like those were really high impact matches, but the story that Black and Gargano told in this match is what set with me. Like I said, I'm all about storytelling. Like I said, you can have a million flips and 10,000 moves, but if the storytelling between the two wrestlers is garbage, it's not going to be a good match, and I don't care what anybody says. Just the ending sequence, when he hit him with the black mass, and then held him up, and like stared at him, and then hit Johnny Gargano again, was absolutely amazing. And then Johnny plays up saying, "It took you 2 of your finishers to beat me." Like, give these men an Academy Award. That's how beautiful this storyline was. That's how beautiful this feud was. Loved everything about it. So damn good.
Number 7, Okada versus Omega 4, Dominion.
Oh, Okada and Omega. These guys have been fighting since the dawn of time. And last year, my favorite match, of course, was Okada versus Omega. But, like, this match... granted, it's I'm going to flat out say it was not my favorite out of the 4 that they've had. Go ahead, put me on a pike, burn me, whatever. I enjoyed their first one, actually, the most, to be completely honest. But, like, this match, it was just, that Kenny has been fighting so long to get that title, and he just kept trying, and, like, stuff would happen. Like, like, he loses the first match, the second one goes, the second one goes to a time limit draw. The third one's not even for the title because it's part of the G1. And the fact that they made it a 2 out of 3 falls match was just absolutely beautiful. But I think the thing for me is that they wrestled for over an hour. Not many guys can do that. Not many athletes can go an hour straight in a physical competition like that and walk out still making it look absolutely believable. And I think just the entire big moment for me was when Kenny finally won. Like, Kenny won the title that he's been chasing for so long. And, like, everybody in my hometown here in Winnipeg, like, we all felt it because, like, Kenny's our boy. Like, we've been like, the wrestling community here in Winnipeg, we've been watching Kenny since he started. Like, he wrestling in the little independent leagues here in the city. I've talked to him. I've chatted with him. I've shook his hand. I've been watching him for 15 plus years. So just having him finally win the belt really sat, like, really emotionally with me. Could it be higher on the list? Yeah, but, unfortunately there's just a lot of other better stuff on there. But it was still a great match. So it wasn't my favorite match that these two have had, but it was still a great moment, great match, and holy crap was it long. But then again, it's New Japan. All their matches are like 12 years long, but yeah. So good. The feels of this one.
Number 6, Meiko Satomura versus Toni Storm, Mae Young Classic 2018.
To narrow down a Meiko Satomura match from the Mae Young Classic was damn near freaking impossible. Oh my god. Like I said, her first match against Killer Kelly, I was like, nothing's gonna top that. Her second match against Mercedes Martinez, oh my god, you're killing me. Her match against Lacey Lane was But after rewatching all of them, I really wanted to get a Mae Young Classic match in here this year. And just rewatching all the matches over and over again, I knew I had to go with a Meiko match for sure. And just the one with her versus Toni in the semifinals was just absolutely great. It was breathtaking. Like, the stuff that these ladies did was just... Like, I love when people hit their finishers and people kick out. I love false finishes if they're done correctly. They're done correctly when you hit it, and then they hit theirs, and then when they're all done really quick at the end of a match. That's done correctly. You can't just throw 10 minutes in and then another 20 minutes later you hit again. I don't like that. I don't like when that happens. But just the fact that Meiko hit Toni with everything that she polished every person on. She hit her with that vaulting knee kick. She hit her with her Death Valley driver. She hit her with her Tiger Drive. She hit her with every single move that she won with in this Mae Young Classic, and Toni kept kicking out. It was just showing a great testament to Toni Storm. She's been wrestling for a while, but just the age. Meiko's been doing this a really long time. Meiko's been doing this just as long as Toni's been alive. and just the fact that they both worked such a great match with each other. Granted, Tony Storm was one of the best in the world there is, but I loved everything about this match. I loved watching Mako in this tournament. It was great to see someone with Japanese strong style actually be able to use Japanese strong style in a WWE caliber. Shinsuke Nakamura. I just wish they would let him do what I know he can do. But Mako, it was a pleasure to watch you in this tournament, and this was definitely my favorite match of yours. So that's why this one is on the list.
Number 5, Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali in a Falls Count Anywhere match, 205 Live, July 3rd, 2018.
Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali have wrestled so many times this year, but this one stuck in my mind the most because it was the first time that I saw them fight this year. And it was on just a regular 205 show. Like, it wasn't even anything fancy. It wasn't even for a title. It was just these two guys fighting. And holy crap, they used every single possible thing in this ring. Like, steel steps, the announce table, the barricade, chairs, like, everything. Like watching a Spanish fly off a barricade through an announce table is mind-blowing as it is. Watching a monkey flip vault through steel steps planted on a... there's no way that these two guys should have been able to walk out of this match, but they did. And that's a huge testament to these two performers. And yes, they've wrestled a couple other times. Their match at Survivor Series, I really dug it, but this very first match that they had just on 205 was absolutely amazing. I said it was a non-title match. It was just a regular, no DQ, Falls Count Anywhere match, and it was just... the spots. The spots. If you guys want to see a spot fest, check this match out. You won't be disappointed.
Number 4, the ladder match to determine the first ever NXT North American Champion, NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
How do you open up an NXT event? With a frickin' ladder match. Holy crap. Like, this was the opening to the WrestleMania weekend this year, and that match just watching these guys work their butts off. Like I said, you had Velveteen, you had EC3, you had Adam Cole, you had Ricochet, you had Killian Dane, you had Lars, you had just like the who's who of the NXT like locker room in this phenomenal match. And like, I love ladder matches. I love ladder matches when it's one-on-one. I'm usually not a fan of multi-man ladder matches because there's too much crap going on. I've never really been a fan of the Money in the Bank matches. Oh no, I said something bad, but like this one, everybody got an even shot. Like it wasn't your usual, just two guys fight while everybody's knocked out of the ring. Like, there was action going on everywhere. And just seeing the different ladder spots that they did, like, just absolutely phenomenal. Killian Dane is a man beast. Like, watching him just run through the ladders was great. Watching Lars break the ladders was great. Ricochet's like high spots were just phenomenal. EC3 in his first match looked absolutely phenomenal. Great match. Like, it set up just a really good feud later on with Adam Cole and Ricochet, but like, this is where it all started. This is where that feud started. Great way to open up the NXT event. Great way to open up WrestleMania weekend. One of the best matches of that entire weekend for sure. 2 thumbs way up. These guys gave it their all. If you want to see one of the best ladder matches in the past couple years, check this one out for sure.
Number 3, Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia.
I know what you guys are thinking. Why isn't this number 1? A couple of things. It was number 1 for the longest time. Like, I had this as my number 1 match, pretty much going into writing out this list, actually. And then after re-watching the matches, I just had to do a little bit of reshuffling, not to take anything away from this. Holy crap, was this awesome! Like the whole thing for me with this match was like, is Johnny gonna do it? Is Johnny gonna win the NXT Championship? And there was like that glimmer, like every time like Almas hit him with a big move, like Johnny kept kicking out, but then Almas kept kicking out. Like, it was just like back and forth. But like, the thing is, like, everybody thought that Johnny was gonna win this match. Everyone thought that Johnny was going to win this match. And if he wasn't going to win the match, it was going to be Tommaso Ciampa who cost him the match. But it didn't happen. Like, Tommaso did not cost him the match. Like, like eventually almost hit Gargano with that draping hammerlock DDT. Like I think he hit with like three of them, and like he finally put him down. It was just like I was on the edge of my seat this entire match, just chewing through my nails. And then, of course, after the match, like everyone's cheering Johnny. I almost did it. And then Tommaso comes out and just beats him. Like it's the fact that Tommaso didn't interfere during the match made people forget about Tommaso. He's like, okay, well, I guess he's not coming back tonight. And then he beat him with the crutch after the match, and holy crap, it just like it made me like turn white. It made me just like look like, oh my god, like how did this just happen? It was absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, just like the entire match, I was on the edge of my seat, biting my nails. Great match by both these guys. Great storytelling. Great swerve at the end. Definitely one of my favorite matches of the year.
Number 2, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair in the last woman standing match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, WWE Evolution.
Tell me one good thing that Becky has not done this year. Like, Becky was finally given an opportunity to run with the ball, and she did it. And she is the talk of wrestling right now. And this match was nothing different. It was my favorite match of Evolution for sure. My second favorite match of the year. Holy crap! Like, her and Charlotte just tore the house down. Like, you can't get a falls count anywhere. Last person standing match as good as this. This is one of the best last person standing matches I've seen ever, and I've watched a lot of them. The storytelling these two ladies gave, the amount of brutality that they went through, and coming from a pay-per-view that didn't get any promotion whatsoever. Like I said, they did not talk. As soon as they announced Evolution, it was like, "Hey, Evolution's coming," and then they stopped. Like unfortunately, it was because it was so close to Survivor Series. It was so close to Crown Jewel. Like it was just in between all these other matches that made it kind of forgotten wise, promo wise. But the story these two ladies left in the ring after the match, during the match, was absolutely phenomenal. The spots that they did, like I thought Charlotte died. Like when Charlotte did that flip through the table, and like you could hear the big crack, and like her instant screaming was absolutely amazing. And the ending, that's usually how last person standing matches ending. Like they're down, then they both stand up at 9, and then one falls back down. Like it's usual, it's stereotypical, but it looked really good and it was done very, very well. Hell of a match, best women's match of the year for sure. My second favorite match of the year for sure. 2 thumbs way, way up. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania where Becky's finally going to get her hands on Ronda Rousey. That's right, I'm calling it now. But yeah, so good. Loved every second of this match.
Number 1, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, NXT Unsanctioned match, NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
As you guys know, I'm a sucker for storylines once again. I originally had this one as my number 3 match of the year, and then, of course, last minute I switched it with Almas and Gargano. I think it was just mainly because of the storyline. It was just the entire feud. The video package, the video package was so damn good. But it's the fact that it was a non-sanctioned match that they were able to kind of do whatever they wanted. They worked so well with each other. The staring down, the trash talking was absolutely great, and that ending freaking sequence where Tommaso's begging for mercy, like he's absolutely begging for mercy, and then he tries to hit Johnny with the knee brace, and then Johnny catches him in like that STF where he like traps his leg and then bends his head back with the knee brace, and Tommaso has to tap out instantly, otherwise sacrifice his leg. Just a great ending to the match for sure. And there was that entire thing thinking well, what if Johnny loses? Like is he going to be done for NXT? Because as we all know, the whole premise was if Johnny lost, he was done from NXT. We're like, well, no, Johnny can't lose, but what if he does? Like there was that whole belief that it might happen, and great start to the feud. Like granted, they had a bunch of other matches this year. They were both really, really good. I enjoyed it, but just the first match really stuck it to me for the entire storyline writing. The way that they pursued the angle, and of course the finish to that match was absolutely breathtaking. Just that look, that look of like remorse, like like he felt sorry for Tommaso Ciampa, only to have Tommaso stab him in the back again, and then that's what cost him. Favorite match of the year, favorite feud of the year, loved everything about it. Two thumbs way, 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 way up. And as usual, like I said, I'm not being biased towards NXT. I just felt like NXT just did a lot more this year, and that's why more of their matches are on this top 10 list. So, yeah. Oh, still getting the shivers from that one for sure. And of course, with that, the top 10 list is done. I can't stop there. You guys have seen my previous top year finale videos. You guys know that I also do a quick review for my favorite feel-good moment of the year and the worst moment of the year. So, this year, my favorite feel-good moment of the year is
Tegan Nox's return from injury to participate in this year's Mae Young Classic.
Now, I know that the tournament didn't end the way we wanted it for her. Unfortunately, Tegan re-injured herself on not the same leg. She actually blew out her other knee and other muscles on her other leg, so she's going to be out for quite some period of time. But it was the entire story leading into this tournament that, you know, like she was supposed to be in the previous tournament but suffered that leg injury, so she worked her ass off all year to get healthy to partake in this year's tournament. It was just a real Cinderella story. I think for me, it was getting such a great, like her opening of the tournament, like her being the first competitor to come out for the first match, and getting such a great ovation, such a great welcoming from the crowd. And then as soon as she won her first match against Zatara, just that camera shot of her face, of like how like how shocked she was, like, oh my god, like I won, like I did it, I'm back. It was just a really heartwarming message, and just felt really good and excited for her that she was able to come back from injury. And said, unfortunately, like I said, she would suffer another serious injury during this tournament, which is she's still out as of right now. But just that moment when she came back and that moment when she won her first match just gave me goosebumps all over, and it was something I'm never going to forget from this year. And of course, after all of that, now to talk about my worst, least favorite moment of the year. And it is
the Bayley and Sasha feud that never happened.
How do you take a feud and crap all over it? Here's what you do. You build it up. You make the audience want it. You tease it. You taste it for a couple weeks. You keep putting it in our faces. And then what do? You throw in a couple comedic skits that don't resolve anything and throw it in the garbage like we're supposed to forget about it. Yes, I get it that they want to push Bayley and Sasha as a tag team with the new Women's Tag Team Championships coming out. I get it. But let's not forget that one of the best women's matches of all time was Sasha versus Bayley at Brooklyn 1. One of the best women's matches of all time was Sasha versus Bayley at Brooklyn 2. You guys had the Women's Evolution pay-per-view ready to go. It timed out perfectly. All you guys had to do was pursue this feud and pull the trigger so they would have their big blow-off at Evolution, and the world would have been happy for it. You had them fighting each other for all these weeks. Everyone got excited. Did you not listen to the excitement when Bayley finally snapped and beat up Sasha? The crowd was cheering. The crowd was livid. The crowd was live for it. And then what do the very next week? You bring back that stupid counseling garbage storyline that Daniel Bryan and Kane had a few years earlier that was just absolute ass that no one cared about. And then what do? You bring it back again for a second week. And then what do after that? You make them hug, and now they're friends again. It does not make sense. How do you go from hating one another so much, beating each other senseless, trying to kill one another, to going to some comedic counseling session, and now you're best friends and a tag team? It does not make any freaking sense. Why couldn't they just have them blow it all up, have them just fight, give us that one match that we've wanted ever since they both moved up to the main roster, and then throw that underneath the carpet and let them become friends eventually after that, leading into this whole new tag team division? That's what the world wanted to see. And unfortunately, we got some weird-ass angle that they just tossed away like we completely forgot about. We're not that stupid. Wrestling fans are a lot smarter than WWE gives us credit for. And it's because of the sheer dumb factors of this entire freaking storyline that it is the worst moment of the year. And there you guys have it. What were some of your favorite matches of 2018? Let me know in that comment section below. And as always, if you guys like what you saw, make sure to crush like, hit subscribe, and click the bell notification for whenever we post videos. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out our Twitter and our Facebook accounts, which I'm also linking in the description below. Well, thank you guys so much for an amazing 2018 that we had in regards to the world of wrestling and the YouTube channel itself. And we're only just beginning. So until next time, this is Kayfabe Chronicles, and I'll see you guys next time.